On the Palo Alto Network's firewalls, you can define firewall administrators locally on the firewall, or you can use a central management platform like Panorama. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an administrator locally on the firewall. Now, that is the most common method, which is using local authentication, but you can authenticate other firewall administrators through a third-party directory service like Active Directory. Now, not every single administrator needs to have super user access to the firewall, right? That means everyone can do all sorts of things on the firewall, all configuration. Some roles only need to access very specific settings. And so we need to lock that down using something called role-based access control. So what I'm going to do here is show you on the firewall to configure an administrator. Once you log in, click on Device over at the top, and in the left navigation, you will click on Administrators. So you see here, I have 3 different firewall administrators defined. This is all using local authentication. So there's the admin default user account. Here is my user account. I am not using an authentication profile, and this is where you would define some third-party directory. We are putting in my password with minimum requirements, and there are 2 different roles you can assign to the firewall administrator. You could use dynamic or role-based. Under the dynamic option, if I click on this drop-down, you can see there are these built-in roles. Now, the super user is going to have full access to the firewall. And then you have a super user read-only. This still has full access to the firewall, but like it says, it's only read-only. Then you have a device administrator. The device administrator has full access to the firewall as well, but it cannot do things like create new accounts and also create virtual systems. And then you have the device administrator, which is a read-only role, read-only access except for seeing the password policies and the administrator accounts. All right, so I've created a super user there. So then you'll click OK and then commit that over on the top right. The one thing I want you to see is I have a firewall administrator named John Doe who's got a role-based type account, and it has a profile called analyst. Now, role-based is where you create your own custom roles and you define different criteria that will be allowed or not allowed for that role. I created a role here. If you go back to device and on the left, click on admin roles, there will be 3 roles already created for me. I created this last one called analyst. If you want to create your own, you just click on add at the bottom here. So you can see if I look at the analyst role, all I've done is given access to the monitor tab, which can look at the logs. Everything else is disabled. Same with XML API, I've disabled everything there. No access to command line and no access to the REST API. So we'll commit that, make that change, and I'll show you the difference there because I'm logged in as the admin currently. So I will log out here. I will log back in under the John Doe account, and I should only see the monitor tab. So here I have a firewall administrator named John Doe that I'm logged in as, and all that's available to this user account under this role-based access role of analyst is the monitor tab. You can see on the left, all I can see are the different logs available to me, and I've enabled access to view all of these logs. So that is a summary of going through the administrator and the role-based access control roles. So I hope you're able to use this for your studies on the PCNSA certification, defining administrators, and also knowing what role-based access is on the objectives there for the exam. So if you found this video useful, please go ahead and like the video down below. Thank you.